right back, Charlie's definitely.
Still on the floor.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian. Come on.
Straight out of one live stream into another. People deluded, I'm back again. Big up the Twitch gang. Shout out to you lot on YouTube. I hope you're all doing well and safe. It's the 2nd of December, so if I haven't seen you since, November, obviously, happy new month, new blessings. Hope you lot have a month to remember. And obviously, one love for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button now. It feels good to get 3 points, man. It feels good to have that winning feeling back at the football club. Obviously, I'm sure with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues, you've all been speaking about the title race. Liverpool have, a target on their heads because the only way when you're at the top is down, and they're running away with it with 9 points. City are in disarray. And as Arsenal fans, you're just thinking if we can get our ship together, go on a bit of a run, pray to the footballing gods that Liverpool slip up a few times. Hopefully we can do something in that regards. And apparently today we've been linked with a new sporting director in Roberto Olabe and things of that ilk, people. So yeah, if we just crack on immediately with what's going on in the tabloids, it is what it is. Where you look at the biggest leads after 13 games in the Premier League, people, Manchester United in 1993-94 won the division. Liverpool in 1920 won the league. City, when they did it in 17-18, won the league. Chelsea in 05-06 won. Chelsea in 2014-15 won the league. So then it has to, if Arsenal were to win the league, it'd have to be something groundbreaking. It is mission impossible because no one's ever done it. Now, I think Liverpool are great. I think they deserve where they should be. Naturally, I think if you speak to Liverpool fans or Arne Slot, there's several areas they can get better at. And I think all this talk about Liverpool falling off, people forget that Liverpool could get better. And naturally, do I think Liverpool are going to keep up this pace from now to the end of May? Probably not. Like everyone, there's going to be wins, there's going to be draws, etc., etc. Kanate's been injured. But Arsenal needs to, close the points tally, and then there can also be no margin for error. So Liverpool are the men to beat. They deserve where they're at. They've had a great week this week, beating both Manchester City and Real Madrid, and Arne Slot stocks are just continuing to rise, regardless of what happens with Liverpool in his time as a manager. If he wins the Premier League, he's done what he's doing, man. Moving away from that, again, we know we need to replace Roberto Olabe. So apparently Arsenal are in advanced talks to appoint Roberto Olabe as new sporting director, giving Alexander Isak pursuit a major boost. I wonder what the correlation with Alexander Isak over there at Newcastle means. Now, obviously, Isak has been at Sociedad before, like Moreno, like Odegaard. We've dealt with Sociedad for a number of deals. So maybe there's that. We know we need to replace Edu, and we've been linked with several names. I'm actually in the process of editing a video, just shedding a bit of light on the people we've been linked with, Luis Campos, Roberto Olabe, Thiago Scuro of Monaco. There's been plenty of names, and there'll probably be a next name as well, man. We have to go on a historical run to win this league. Saka gives me hope we can win, though. That has to show that there's no spanner in the works. There's no injuries, there's no drop points, etc. From this, big up you lot. Daily, Douglas Luiz back again. I hear it. Tired of the Douglas Luiz links. Asabi probably knows the details in Isak's contracts when Newcastle bought Isak, which is probably true. But at the end of the day, you just got to put the money down. I think Isak's injured again for what it's worth. It's a money thing, and that ain't happening in January. But for what it's worth, Arsenal have been hunting for a new sporting director since Edu Gaspar's surprise exit last month. The Brazilian, who played a pivotal role in reshaping Arsenal's football operations, left the club to join Nottingham Forest, despite being offered a significant pay increase at the Emirates. The Gunners have since shifted their focus to finding an ideal candidate to fill the gap left by Edu's departure. Smash the like button, folks. And recent developments suggest that Arsenal may have found their man. According to a report from Foot Mercato, it indicates that Arsenal are in advanced negotiations conversations with Roberto Olabe, the highly regarded sporting director of Real Sociedad, known for his strategic vision and knack for identifying talent. The 57-year-old has been a key figure in Sociedad's recent success. Under his leadership, the La Liga side won their first major trophy in over 30 years by claiming the Copa del Rey in 2021. Moreover, they returned to the Champions League in 2023, 24 season, marking their first appearance in the competition in a decade. Now, for me, I think you need someone like him. Obviously, you look at when they signed Isak, nobody was waffling about Isak. Fair enough, Odegaard was on loan, but it worked for them. Mikel Moreno was at Dortmund, not pulling up any trees, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other business, and he's obviously helped them with their trophy. Obviously, there's the Spanish link-up. We've worked with Sociedad before. There's all that kind of stuff, right? For me, I would be up for this, him or Campos, purely because they're significantly experienced. And I just feel we've tried many things. We've tried this whole, the players are young, Arteta's young, Edu's young-ish in the role, Mertesacker, Jack Wilshere, everyone's kind of growing. I think now, in terms of fine margins, I think you need an experienced man that can at times hold Mikel Arteta's hands. But I do feel, unlike with Edu, I do think the Cronkies have to give whoever that new director is an equal voice. Of course, you know, when you look at the structure on paper, Edu's up here, Mikel's down there, but reality is it's Arteta and Edu. And I do think sometimes Arteta needs saving for himself. Like, a lot of our signings have worked out, but there's also been times we've wasted money. And Kai Havertz, quality player, he's doing his thing. I can't get at him, but you could argue, could that 65 million have been spent elsewhere? Big fan of Declan Rice, but could you have got that profile without the English tax? I don't know, and plenty of others, man. So yeah, it is what it is in that regards, man. I'm all for it. What did that statement just say about the DOF and finding talents? Said he's got a knack for identifying talent. Or replay it. I read it all out. According to Sky Germany, which Spanish departing director at a Spanish club, English to go to an English club, is coming from Sky Germany. I'm not too sure. Isak is a sick note, would be a waste of money. Big up yourself, P. According to Sky Germany, Olabe's potential move to Arsenal could have wider implications for the club's transfer plans. I mean, it should, regardless of who comes in, it should help shape what we're going to do in that regards. The Spaniard maintains a strong relationship with Alexander Isak, the 25-year-old striker who now plays for Newcastle United. Mikel Arteta views the Swedish forward as a potential summer target to bolster his attacking options. Although Isak has a contract with the Magpies until 2028, it's believed that Olabe's arrival at the Emirates could provide Arsenal with an advantage thanks to their long-standing rapport. How far does that go? Cool. The sporting director knows Isak's people and Isak himself. Arteta, clearly, if you put Arteta in a room with Isak, he might tempt him. You've got Moreno, you've got Odegaard, you've got a young team fighting for the Prem. How far does that go, though? It comes down to the money. If you're going to put the money down, but yeah, it just says he has a knack about identifying talents, James, which he does if you look at what Sociedad have done. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal have undergone a dramatic transformation in recent years, with the club firmly re-establishing itself amongst Europe's elite. And with Olabe's proven ability to structure winning teams and recruit top-tier talent, the North London side could be poised for a greater success both in England and in Europe. In the short term, they return to action against Manchester United on Wednesday in the Premier League at the Emirates, which we will be doing a watch-along. So, didn't see anything there about talks or anything, but it did say we're in talks, but there was no specifics really. Big up Bukayo Saka. Apparently, the Premier League record for the most assists in a season is held by Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne with both 20. Bukayo Saka is halfway there with 25 games remaining this season. If he keeps it up, great. I don't think he'll get, I think 20 assists from 38 is a big ask, but if somebody had to break it, and it was an Arsenal record, it'd be lovely to see him do it again, man, essentially. I think Ozil could have busted once upon a time. Apparently, Lisandro Martinez and Colby Maino will miss Man United's trip to Arsenal on Wednesday through suspension after they both received yellow cards against Everton, people. So, yeah, we can move on from that. What else have we got? That's my FPL. Report claims Arsenal ready to launch club record transfer bid for Premier League star. Same thing about Isak, but at least we can see some details here, people. We could end up paying as much as 135 million euros, which eclipses what you spent for Declan Rice. I don't know if Isak's worth that, even though I'm a big fan of his. You know, you might as well just go and get Gyökeres, surely, but we'll have to see. Again, all the reports are saying Olabe to Arsenal, not really saying much. Again, he has made it clear he wants to depart Sociedad, or better yet, is departing Sociedad at the end of the season. What's this about? Jorginho. We know Jorginho will be 33 later this month. Respectfully, I don't really care about people's think pieces. But keeping up the theme with midfielders, Douglas Luiz apparently has been offered around to English clubs. And apparently he tells Aston Villa he's unhappy at Juventus, people. I mean, couldn't begrudge you for going to Juventus, but it isn't working. Apparently, he's confirmed his discontent. Apparently, he's unhappy at Juventus, and his agent, Kaya Jarupkin, is already looking for an escape route during the January transfer window. I mean, could a cheeky loan in January? Wouldn't be against it. The 26-year-old has only played 9 times since completing a 50 million euros move, people, which was seen at the time as some sort of coup, if I'm honest with you. According to La Gazzetta dello Sport, Douglas Luiz confirmed his displeasure to former Aston Villa teammates on Wednesday. Douglas Luiz was not available for the latest Champions League round, but he still travelled to Birmingham to visit his ex-club, which is great for him, really. And apparently Juventus have considered a proposal for Douglas Luiz, and hopefully they get Josh Rosierski, who worked under Thiago Motta. I mean, Josh Rosierski looks like he's got a new lease of life under, obviously, Ruben Amorim. I'm not too sure. I wouldn't be against Douglas Luiz on loan, man. You know, we'll give you Kiwior on loan. You give us Douglas Luiz now. I'm probably reaching with that. Marcus Rashford has warned Arsenal they'll be facing a completely different United. I think it will still be somewhat the same, but naturally, Ruben Amorim actually has a clue. Ten Hag doesn't, so I'd calm it down. We've not played in this system before. No one knows what to expect from us, and it puts us in a good position. No one knows what to expect from you lot, really. Just do our homework, essentially. Jorginho outlines Arsenal's surprise advantage over Liverpool in the title race. He thinks home comfort. I just think the fact that there's not a target on our head, if anything, but just need to win games, man. Just need to win games, man, Jorginho. Not too sure I'm here for this, man. No one cares what Bowen's got to say about Arsenal. Apparently, we've been linked with Gittins of Dortmund, and apparently Dortmund have confirmed they want to keep Gittins for as long as possible amid interest from Arsenal, Chelsea, and several other top European clubs. Finding his feet, the under-21s international, people. He's also got a deal until 2028, and such is the modern day. There's got to be serious peace. I can see Luiz loan. We beat them 3-1. I would still take Douglas Luiz 80 M's max. Man's a sick note. That's probably in relation to Isak. Swap deal with Jesus and cheese for Isak. You never know, but do you expect any of these things to happen in January? Weirder things have happened in life, so it could, but I'm always pessimistic. Once again, we've been linked with Alberto Melero, people of Las Palmas, and apparently face interest from clubs in Saudi. We've been linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Apparently, Arsenal have reportedly considered making a move for Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free transfer in the summer in what could be the 27-year-old's final chance to land a big contract. Really? I mean, he could be a number 2. You know, Kai Havertz would still be number 1. If you could get the Calvert-Lewin of a few seasons ago, I guess it's not the worst, but you know, you can't really go from Isak, Gyökeres, Sesko, Osimhen, this guy, that guy. And I know it's not a name brand thing, but really, and we're talking about sick notes with the greatest of respect. Dominic Calvert-Lewin loves an injury. Yeah, man, since he got 16 goals in 2020-21, he ain't done exactly that. But according to Football Insider, they've considered making a move for the Englishman upon the expiry of his Everton contract. It's believed, given he'd be free, Dominic Calvert-Lewin signing on fee and wages could be boosted. And it's been suggested that this could be the 27-year-old's final chance to land a big contract after his drop-off. If he was to fail at Arsenal, it would almost certainly be his last chance to play for a big club. I mean, if he signed for us, I'd love for him to be amazing, but really, apparently Arsenal could reportedly have to do battle with rivals Tottenham for his signing. Spurs allegedly are monitoring development, and apparently his goals per season. 16-17, he only got 1 in 11 games. 17-18, he got 8 goals in 44 games. 18-19, 8 goals in 38. 19-20, 15 goals in 41. 2020-21 season, he played 39 times and scored 21 goals. 2021-22, he scored 5 in 18. In 2022-23, he had 18 games, 2 goals. 2023-24, he played 39 times and got 8 goals. Now, again, there's obviously injuries and context and all that stuff, but you know, he's had 2 seasons, like 2 real hot seasons, really, where 15 is a respectful return. 21's good. Other than that, you're getting idiot numbers, really. You're not getting better numbers than Kai's probably going to do with an Arsenal shirt. Yes, you know, probably get more than Jesus, but again, is that the sort of logic you want to equate to signing players? You start to get into a very scary territory. Apparently, as many as 10 clubs are monitoring Jakub Kiwior's situation at Arsenal, while 3 have already made inquiries over a potential transfer. Sources have told Court Offside that the Gunners have not yet made a final decision on Kiwior, but it's thought that an offer in the region of 40 to 45 million euros could convince them to sell the Poland international. Now, if Kiwior wants to leave and we want to sell, I'm not against it, but I am against it in January, I must admit, man, if I'm honest with you. While Arsenal's preference would be a permanent sale if Kiwior leaves, it currently looks like most of the interest in the former Spezia defender would be in the form of a loan move. Court Offside can reveal that 10 clubs are eyeing Kiwior as followed: Juventus, AC and Inter Milan, Napoli, Atalanta, Fiorentina, Bologna, Sevilla, Villarreal, Marseille. With the exception of Marseille, he's been linked with all of these clubs before. And I don't know, in the summer or earlier this year in January, was there legitimate offers for all the interest? Why did Kiwior stay at the club? Did Arteta say you'd get game time? Did Kiwior want to give it another opportunity and say, you know what, I don't really care about Gabriel and Calafiori and Timber and Tommy and all these guys. I want to stake a claim. I'm not sure, people. Not really sure. And on loan, that don't really help us in January. We're going to need you as a body because Zinchenko loves the injury. Unfortunately, Lewis Skelly's picked up 1-2 knocks here and there. We have to tread very carefully with Calafiori and obviously Timber. We don't know what Benjamin White's going to look like when he returns. So it don't make sense to me to let him go in Jan, but sometimes offers are put your way that you can't refuse. Manchester United, Spurs, Barca and PSG sent scouts to watch Omar Marmoush play for Eintracht Frankfurt in Europa League on Thursday. He has still been linked with Arsenal Football Club. Jorginho shocked by crazy criticism of unbelievable star. Well, he's backing Kai Havertz. You know what? Big up Kai, but I think most people have gone beyond that. We were linked with Kirkez, and apparently Liverpool and United will do fighting to sign him in January, which leaves us out of it. Bournemouth are willing to consider offers for Antoine Semenyo in the summer, with Liverpool among the clubs interested in the forward. Some of you remember he was linked with us a few weeks ago. A player I like in Ryan Cherky. Apparently, West Ham could try to sign him this winter. Lyon are demanding around 30 million euros to sell the player. So his price has gone up by 15 million based on the summer reports. Fair play, though. You lot would have seen we was linked with Rangers of AC Milan. That's dead. Apparently, he's in talks with AC Milan over a new deal, so we can forget about that. But in terms of the profile, that's the sort of profile I would like at Arsenal Football Club, if I'm honest, specifically in the middle of the park. So cultured, passing range. I think we've got a lot of destroyers and ball winners. We need someone that can kind of thread the needle of the eye pass on a consistent basis. And in relation to Arsenal's loan watch, apparently Fabio Vieira scored in the Europa League, people. Nuno Tavares picked up a hamstring injury during his first call up to the Portuguese national team and missed Lazio's fixture in the Europa League, people, and their game against Parma. Boy, Carl Hein got pumped 5-0 for his team Real Valladolid against Atletico Madrid. Reece Nelson started his 4th Premier League game in a row. Pick him up, man. Getting some game time for Fulham. They drew 1-1 with the Scum. So, yeah, man, it is what it is in that regards. Marquinhos weren't in his team's matchday squad. Hopefully, we never see Marquinhos again, personally. Don't forget, people, turn on your reminders. Wednesday, we're watching Arsenal Man United. So that seems to be everything that's in the tabloids at this moment in time. Should we refresh this page, see what happens? The stupidest rumor is probably Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I don't even say stupid because it would be just about Arsenal to do something like that. But no, not care about Chido Obermartin again. We've got bigger fish to fry. Bless up, Phils. Hope you're doing well and safe. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a championship footballer. Let the Spuds take them. You shouldn't even report those fake rumors, DG. Fair enough, but it's entertaining for us. Dominic Calvert-Lewin in big 2024. With all due respect, we've been linked with this guy since lockdown. I highly doubt we'd go near him. Time's gone, man. Dominic Calvert-Lewin not good for Everton. How come he's good for us? Boy. City with Declan would have been unfair. It would have, really. It really would have. It would have been scary. We can, but we won't win the league. Liverpool won't collapse completely. So then, boy, I don't know where we go from there. I don't care about Asabe. Just be able to close deals. Amen. DG, what do you make of our season so far? I'm still sure we can catch up with Liverpool. A mixed bag, really and truly. Like, there's been some good. I think we're still shooting ourselves in the foot. Like, I am being very lazy in the analysis, but I do think the warning signs that led to our temporary demise were there when we've won games against Southampton and Leicester. I personally think we should have been at the game. We should have beat Brighton before it went into 10 men. Obviously, the Liverpool game, there was game management issues. The one time we gambled, they scored. City was courageous. Would have loved to have picked up points there. Terrible performance against Bournemouth and Newcastle. And we went into the season knowing it was about fine margins. Bearing in mind, last year we missed out by 2 points. So I still think we have this element of being superb, being spot on, having great games, but also shooting ourselves in the foot. Of recent, I like the way we're attacking. I think defensively as a team, with the exception of the City game, and to be fair, Inter Milan, because it was a dodgy penalty, I think we've dropped off a couple of levels defensively, and I think we need to get back up there. And ultimately, we need to go on a run now. Liverpool will drop points, but a 9-point gap is healthy. They will drop points. Everyone will, but we will also drop points. So I feel the Prem is slowly but surely slipping away. You need a lot of variables to fall into place to pip Liverpool's. And I always say the Prem's improbable, the Champs is impossible. We're in the Champs, might as well try win it. But boy, so yeah, do what you can to compete on all fronts. Just bring the FA Cup and the League Cup home, man. Being in the quarterfinals. Talking about Gittins. Big up Gittins, man. Wouldn't mind with Davin from Dortmund, but it feels like half the people we're linked with, it just comes down back to one thing, and that's the Guala. If you're gonna put down the money, then fair play. If not, it is what it is. You're not gonna get the guy, are you? Like, you're really not. So that's what I would say. And you look at our fixtures, like, we're just gonna need to go on a run, man. My challenge to Arsenal would be, and who am I to be giving challenges? Can you go unbeaten from now to the end of the year at the very minimum? Now, obviously, even the Chelsea game, like, again, that'll be another point. I'm being very harsh, but dropping points from winning positions would be another thing. You did have the lead against Chelsea. You did take the lead twice against Liverpool. You did take the lead against Brighton. You were in the lead against City. Now, of course, I'm being harsh, but the league is harsh. How harsh was it in May to finish 2 points below City? How harsh is it to see that the first time City looked rubby, it's Liverpool flying and it's not us? Got to be cruel to be kind, man. We're in a position where we're playing every 4 days now. It's 2 big games this week. We can't talk about Fulham yet, which probably led to our demise in its own way last season. Need to smash Man United. If for nothing more, their fans just don't shut the hell up. So you've got Man United, you've got Fulham, you've got Monaco, you've got Everton, you've got a double header against Palace in the EFL Cup quarterfinals and also in the league. You've got Ipswich, where that game should be a one that you're walking them over on paper, as they've showed a couple of times this season against fellow traditional top 6 sides. Sleep on them at your own risk. January's not kind, is it? Brentford away, Brighton away, North London derby, Aston Villa at home, Zagreb, Wolves away, Girona. So from now to the end of Jan, the games, they're coming like that. January, you get a bit more of a leeway kind of thing, but it's peak. And then February, boy, ooh. Well, to be fair, February's a bit mad. March is mad. Anfield in May, you know. It's all set up for a title decided there, man. Literally no team in Prem history have capitulated from this position. They have a world-class spine and an experienced, tactically astute coach. It's much closer to delusion than optimism to think they're bottling. I don't think they're bottling. I don't think I've given anything other than that, man. Liverpool haven't looked dodgy all season. Where are we going to get decided they're going to fall off? They will drop points, just naturally. I don't think you're going to win every game from now to the end of the season. But again, how far is the drop-off? And when you've had this great run, you give yourself that. They've dropped points already. They dropped points against us, which we should have won. And they dropped points against Forest. And they were quite fortunate against Ipswich, but they find a way. And as you said there, you know, experience can be overrated, but it can't be overstated. You've got Ancelot, who has a degree of significant experience as a manager and has won a league title over there at Feyenoord. You've got the squad that have won stuff before as well. You know, Liverpool might not win the title next season and they might have to rebuild and all that jazz. But Liverpool stand to do what Arsenal needed to do in that. Forget predicting the future. You find yourself in a moment, in a situation to take advantage of, keep it moving. And 9 points, you're asking for a lot. Like, you're asking for a lot. You're asking for them players to literally lose 3 games or go on a bit of a wobble. And it goes without saying that for me, you'd have to beat Liverpool at Anfield, which, and this is before we talk about if Arsenal get any injuries, if we don't turn it on, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, if we don't drop points. I think it's gone. I don't want the players to believe the title's gone and whatnot, but yeah, man. Nah, that's not true. Wenger came back from these numbers. So have United against Newcastle. They're gonna have to show. They're gonna have to show improve, man. They're gonna have to show improve, man. Biggest leads after 13 games. It seems like all these guys have gone and done it. And I wouldn't say Liverpool look invincible. They definitely look like there's chinks in the armor, but they're finding ways to go around it. And like, there's all this talk about Liverpool falling off. You know, Onslaught, obviously, you know, he probably couldn't even imagine this start. But you don't think Onslaught is saying, oh, against City, we should have scored more. Against Arsenal, we should have done this. We've done it. We got over the line against Ipswich and Southampton, but we need to do this better. They could get even better. Like, and to be honest, if you're, well, to be fair, Alisson's not really linked with a move away. But if you're the Alissons, the Van Dijks, the Salahs, the Trents, whether you're on your career's on the way down or you're injured, you want to win stuff. Like, and to be fair, regardless of who Onslaught is using at this moment in time, it's still not abundantly clear who he sees as really long-term members of his team. I do think Liverpool will need a rebuild. I do think they'll need to give this man. They've really done him dirty. They didn't even give him a summer. They will need to give him a summer, but they're taking advantage of the situations that applies to them. I don't know. A massive club like Liverpool, in my opinion, should always aspire to win trophies. I don't know if they were sat there in the summer saying, we're fighting for the title. I think they were just game by game, let's win our games, keep it moving. And when you win and you go on a run like they've done, the narrative becomes dictated by that. So, yeah, man, it's you need a lot in it. You'd really need the footballing gods would have to be very favorable, if I'm honest, man. So for me, I've emotionally checked out of the title challenge. I hope I'm wrong. Of course, I want Arsenal to win a Prem and champs. I want us to win the effing Tour de France and Wimbledon and everything. But boy, nah, DG, Liverpool were lucky against us. You need luck in life. How many times during our invincible run did it look like we were going to lose games and we got away with it? How many times you could say we've been fortunate in games we've won this season? You need luck. Whether they were lucky or not, they didn't lose. How far does the luck thing go? Even City on their runs, how many times has the game's been in the knife edge? How many times were Real Madrid flirting with losing in the Champions League? You make your own luck in this life. What we can't do is discredit them. It ain't over till it's over. All Arsenal can do is win their games and hope, but it's out of your hands. In life, when things become out of your hands, it now becomes a bit wishful. So we can't go back in time. The L's and the drop points that have happened. All we can do is just focus. It's over mentality our fans have every week. Liverpool and City looked at us this way and we couldn't handle it. Liverpool are not invincible. Even this ideology everyone's running, they're not invincible, but they're going to need to be stopped. DG, what do you think about Antonio Cordero? Should Arsenal sign him? Very young development signing, but I'm all for him. He's wavy, man. If Arsenal win the FA Cup, would that be a good season in your book? There'd be a feeling of underwhelmment because you haven't went and got the champs or the Prem. But considering everything I've said, then yeah, man, you know what? Top 4 FA Cup, it is a decent season. It's not what I wanted, but it is a decent season. And then if we're calling that a decent season or a good season, I don't want to be that guy, but this is what people ran Arsene Wenger out the club for. Pardon me. So that would be my thoughts, man. I'm not on you, DG. Just all our fans that are so optimistic. I don't see where it comes from. A lot of it is blind optimism. You know, if you genuinely, you know, weirder things have happened. For me, I can't see Liverpool letting 9 points slip, but weirder things have happened. It's not Jurgen Klopp there anymore. Couple of injuries, the dynamics changed, but it seems like they're finding a way. Just have to hope and pray, man. Hope and pray. I'd love if the footballing god said, you know what, Arsenal, you're not going to win the Prem because you're going to win the champs. But that's the only thing that will soften the blow, like winning the Champions League. But again, that's dream chasing. Literally dream chasing. Liverpool are dodgy. I reckon we can make it work in this title race against them. Definitely have a lot more confidence against them than I would have if it had been in Man City's position. Love to see if we can get Luiz in Jan with a low move. Wouldn't be against it, man. DG, any transfer news? We covered them and they were tired, man. We went over Douglas Luiz. We linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Gittins is decent, to be fair. We're still linked with Isak. Apart from that, not really. But yeah, it ain't over till it's over. Like, you can't just pack up at the moment. Your viewerships are growing, mate. Be lovely if we grow some more. That's because you're not smashing the like button and subscribing. It's called being a fan. I hear that. I'm not a fan of blind optimism, though. I'm not a fan of blind negativity and blind optimism. Like, I just think people bury their heads in the sand. I don't think you should just, you know, just overly cope and hope Liverpool drop points with no real evidence. and just hope Arsenal overtake them. At the end of the day, 9 points is a healthy gap. Liverpool have a target on their back. The one thing we could say is if it really is Liverpool's, Arsenal could just go under the radar and just pick up results. But again, it's easier said than done. Just pick up your results. That's all Arsenal can do. There's 24 games? That's the only optimism I have. There's 24 games. That's 24 different finals. It's down to the boys. I don't want anyone connected with Arsenal to believe the title's gone. Poke fun at myself, but you have to be a bit deluded. But for me, it's that thing that I keep saying. I genuinely feel we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. Of course, everyone's going to drop points and do better, but we went into the season knowing about fine margins. The fine margins with having a fit squad or not, with Arteta gambling with certain tactics or not, with relying on certain players or not, with doing and not doing certain things in the market, with not killing games in a 90-minute game. Because the same things that led to us losing or dropping points this season, I keep saying it, they called me negative. They were there against Wolves. They were there against Southampton. They were there against Leicester. In life is going to teach you the same lesson again and again and again and again and again until you learn it, To which I wonder, of course, I don't think the club foresaw Liverpool being in this position now, but I look at, and I'm not even criticizing Arteta. I'm praising critique on the pitch, but new contracts been given out. Let's be honest, didn't really have the summer that makes you think, yeah, we're going to arrest those fine margins and go again against City. I personally feel the club feel like me anyways. I think the figure powers that be at the Emirates, I think they're ahead of the project. I don't think they thought Arsenal would be recognised as anything from the first, second or third best team in the league. And obviously the talking points that go with it. So then I wonder what is a good season at the club. I think if they finish in the top four, if they run it close with Liverpool, obviously there's been injuries. We had a difficult start to the campaign. There's a lot of things to hide behind, really. As long as there's no embarrassment, like you don't get absolutely annihilated in the champs, you don't embarrass yourself in the cups, you keep staying in and around that. But it's another case of being bridesmaids at this moment in time. This would have to be this. I'm probably even exaggerating because we were top for like 200 odd days, but I could be wrong. Did we have a 9 points gap? Life happened so quickly, I can't remember. I don't think we did. But this would be the greatest capitulation that I've seen in a while for Liverpool to not go and win this league title, and for Arsenal, even City, or bearing in mind I don't look at the league table, but we're only ahead of Chelsea because of our name begins with an A and there's a C, So there's 11 games, don't really know what's going on, have to fight towards the end, but boy, we should be looking at the Cat Yao champs this season. 8 points gap, but City had games in hand and people were trolling. People, it's gonna troll, innit? It's gonna happen. Not more second and nothing. I don't even think, obviously, if we get a couple of trophies, it is what it is, but they will move the goalposts, rightly or wrongly. I'm just saying the goalposts will move. Like, oh, you only won a League Cup and an FA Cup. The only thing that would shut people up would be Arsenal winning the champs. And to be honest with you, I actually think there'll be more praise if we won the champs than the Prem, because we've never done it. But boy, Roberto Olabe would come in the summer, but by that time there should be a plan. Do you think the DOF has a chance to impact the summer window? Yeah, but as you said, the groundwork might be put in place, but it'd have to impact because in the summer, you've got the Salibas, Sakas, them kind of players. You've got to deal with their contracts. Still got to be receptive on the market to players that you might not have planned to see available when they were. Still got to, there's still a lot of players to move on. There's still a lot of unanswered questions at this football club. Yeah, we've got stability, but when you break it down, I'm not saying everyone's going to leave. Zinchenko's got 2 years left on his deal. Probably earns decent wages, falling down the pecking order. Lewis Skelly looks like he might be able to boost up the ratings at playing as an inverted left back. I could be wrong, but did he not come off the bench against Liverpool and City before Zinchenko? Tomiyasu, what if the club say, what, we love you, you can't stay fit, safe. Partey, contract running out. Jorginho, contract running out. Sterling, that role has to be addressed because he's going back on loan. Neto, we're going to need some goalies. Gabriel Jesus, what's the club going to say there? On one hand, he's got many years left on his contract, big wages. Can't imagine everybody's flying to buy him, but that's something you could make a case of. And there's probably a couple of Kiwior. Does he want to go and play somewhere where you actually can get game time? There's a lot to do, and that's before we talk about, for me, I want an 8 in midfield. I want an inside forward or versatile kind of winger, more so someone that's going to play and compete with Martinelli. I think I speak for a lot of Arsenal fans. We'd love another striker. Unpopular opinion, I wouldn't mind another Timber Tomiyasu versatile-esque defender. So there'll still be a lot for the DOF to do. Still be a lot. So yeah, man, DG, Adam Wharton, any news on the midfielder? We ain't been linked with him today, but quality player. We have the quality to win cups, not enough consistency and mentality to win the Premier. I think we can win an FA Cup, even though I ain't seen it since Arteta last done it. We're in the quarterfinals of the League Cup, so there's a good chance. Champions League, I don't know if we got that juice, but I would love to be wrong. If we're still in the title race and so are Chelsea, who thinks Chelsea are going to make up the gap on Liverpool to win? But them refs and Odegaard injury shelled our season. I hear it, and the refs did shag us, but half of these games, yeah, the games could have been won already or still run regardless of the ref. Odegaard's injury is one thing, and teams losing their key players is going to harm anyone. Like City still can't adapt with Rodri, but Mikel Arteta's a smart man. You've not had an adequate plan B, a like for like with Odegaard, or you've not had a contingency plan. These injuries can strike. Back in February, you said we've got one of the smallest squads. You lot might have tried to address that in the summer, but was it? We're standing in the rain, or we it's like this. It's sunny. That's how the season started. You can see dark clouds, and it's gonna rain. We're not getting sheltered. We're not getting a rain jacket. We're not getting an umbrella. And when it pees down, we're standing there saying, "Oh my God! Like now we need to go and buy one." For me, it still feels, and I know the club tried, but in the same way, I don't think our players ever go out there not trying to win a game. If you try to win, one love. If you do win, it's another thing. This is what I mean about on and off the field. As much as I love this club and I like the direction we're going in, we have this ability to shoot ourselves in the foot and make things more difficult than they need to be and self-inflict these problems. Going back to what someone said last season, about how I feel about the season so far. I don't want to jinx it because of the game on Wednesday, but one thing I've liked is at this moment in time, the record against the top six is still kind of maintaining, even though a bit of a sour taste in my mouth not beating Liverpool, if I'm honest, because of the, it was a late goal. The same said for Chelsea. And I of all of them, I cut the most slack for the City away game, but there's that as well. And there's also Brighton. Even against Aston Villa, like, don't get it twisted. Over a 38-game period, there's going to be games where you can put your hands up and say, you know what, we're fucking shit. Got away with it. But you need to take heed of the warning signs. Champions League is a myth, but still the team has to believe otherwise. Amen. Unpopular opinion, Zinchenko and Jesus have to go, but also Martinelli, that left-hand side stinks. Nah, man, Martinelli just old bench. Chelsea don't have half the squad we have. Fourth place finish for them, and they should be happy with that because that's progress in their own mind, similar to us previous seasons ago. Boy. If we can't win the Prem, we've got to win something. We are too big of a club to celebrate the second place trophy. 2022, 23, and 23-4 were fine. There was progress. That progress leads to trophies, not more. It needs to result in trophies now. I'm eager to win the FA and Cat Yarabel Cup this season, no matter how people view both trophies. I'd rather win both or one out of the two than die on the Prem Hill with nothing. There's nothing to remember the Prem. Nobody cares 20 years from now about last season, about where we finished this year if we don't win the league, about the year before the first title challenge. Nobody cares. At best, the only time people are going to care is if somehow this was a catalyst to the next 3 years, you go and win a madness. History only remembers the victors. It remembers the losers, but history typically only remembers those that are victorious, and the narratives are written by those who are victorious. Boy. Chelsea definitely got a better midfield than Arsenal. To be fair, Caicedo's doing his thing. Caicedo and Lavia is good. Palmer's doing his thing. It has to come from the coach. Evidently, we have the quality to beat almost any team. So why don't we? I believe we shouldn't even. I believe we should have taken steps, i.e. Cat Yarabal, but we got gassed with our quality 2 seasons ago. And this is why I think did the club really want to win. I for what it's worth, I think Arteta wants to win major honours. My thing is just how you go about things at times. I'm talking about the collective. You didn't, because you don't walk into this window with the same unanswered questions. with the squad depth, with not addressing areas, respectfully, with bringing in Raheem Sterling on deadline day and Neto, no disrespect, but just highlighting the planning. You looked at our squad, do we have stronger depth or not? There's still the same unanswered questions. Odegaard's going to have a decent return for goals and assists. Trossard's going to either goals and assists. He's going to have something okay. Martinelli will be all right in that regards. But when push comes to shove, in August, Saka is the only one the others have capacity to get goals. Saka is the only one that you know is going to get goals. You can't go into it with that. Can anyone be surprised with Tomiyasu's injuries, with Zinchenko's injuries, with having to play a dangerous game with Timber essentially and Benjamin White? Benjamin White's now out. We're seeing the same things and doing the same things again and again, which is why I said I believe those that be at the club, you'd like to win a Premier League. You're not like the fans. You're not dying to win it. You're not as aggressive, in my opinion. I think the players are, and Arteta, and that's more of a tactical thing and whatever. But like the club, I don't think you want it. You don't. You can't. You don't have a summer window like that. We don't have this. We don't have these same. Some of the things we are talking about. Some of you have been following me for years. Big up you lot. We're having the same conversations. And I know it's not as easy as us fans make out. You can't just go out and pick out players and whatnot. But how far does we try go? If you're not trying your job, you get fired. If I try to make half decent content and be engaging for you lot, and you don't think it's dead, you fuck off. Pardon my language. If we try to win a football game and don't necessarily, we either lose or draw. We went into this season knowing it was fine margins. On and off the field, I genuinely, I love you lot, love the boys, love the team, but we shoot ourselves in the foot. This is why, for me, just bring me one of the cups, try go on a run, and if the world is to bless Arsenal with an opportunity to somehow really get back in this title race and end this 20-plus year drought, make sure you're there to take advantage. I don't think that's the worst of shouts to say Chelsea have a better midfield. I don't think it's terrible. I think Caicedo's quality. I think Lavia's good. I think Palmer's good. Equally, I think a fit Declan Rice in the six. Partey doing his thing and Odegaard. I don't think it's a terrible shout. Following you since 8K Pigeon days. Come on, we've come a long way, man. Last transfer window was about not falling off, not taking the next step. But then... well, I guess they've got what they paid for, innit? And really, and I said it in the summer and people called me negative. Like, I feel when you have a situation like you had the last 2 years, so heading into this season we're in now, right? I think you either go up several gears or there's a bit of a regression. And I think there's been a bit of regression, which has led us to just stay at this point. To be honest, DG, if Liverpool win the league before us under their new coach after 2 years of us trying to win it, I'll be disappointed. Not going to lie, Stan Kroenke is 77 years old. Change is coming, DG. If you know, chill. His son. Because I do think Arsenal have got a bit more serious because Josh, I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know why, but it feels like Josh has a bit more of an attachment to Arsenal, or Josh gives a little bit more about, cares a fuck a bit more about this club than his dad's. But how far does that go? And then, as much as I'm getting at the Cronkies and everything comes from the top, bro, the peas has been spent, bro. Arteta and Edu, you might have spent peas, bro. You spent peas. Some signings have worked, some haven't. That happens in football. I'm not dissing Kai because I think Kai has been a lot better than I ever thought he would have been, definitely when he's playing in midfield. But could you argue that 65 million could have been spent elsewhere? Love Declan Rice, but could you have got someone to do that role that doesn't come with an English price tag and finesse the peas elsewhere? And it's always weird when it comes to Arsenal because we've got money, but then we don't have money. And then you look at situations like maybe we're bidding for players we know we're not going to, but when we tried to get Caicedo in Jan, when we went for Mudryk, when we went for Vlahovic, sometimes it feels like they can find peas, really. And let's be honest, in the summer, it was about clearing decks as well. We had to do that PSR stuff, whether that's PSR stuff, whether that's PR from the club or whatever. We see the same cycle, man. It's always... we go out the Champions League or it becomes clear the Prem's not happening. There's a war chest. We're going to do this. We know we need players with quality. Go into the summer. We're linked with this guy, that guy, the third. We might make some good signings, but we don't do all the business. The window closes. We tried to get Nico Williams. We tried to get Ronaldinho. Messi was at London goalie. This is all great, but it don't mean much. I don't know what happened, man. No chance for signing anyone in Jan. Where is Eddie's replacement? Who was there to sign when we signed Havertz? I'm just being devil's advocate. You could have signed a striker. You could have signed another central midfielder. Me personally, I was saying sign Lavia. I wanted Lavia and Rice. And there's probably plenty of other guys that were available at the time that didn't bang. Bearing in mind, did we not try and get Mason Mount? We can't always try and do the smart shit with Arsenal. Like, who else was there to get? There's a bunch of players out there. You lot have analytical departments and all of these things. Like, let's not be dumb. I'm not saying to sign. I'm not saying you. And I'm not saying sign players for the sake of it, but if we had done what City have done historically, or if we were Real Madrid, two teams who are still signing players, if you lot could tell me there's no players out there that could improve us, I'd say, yeah, I hear that. Man, I've won X amount of Champions Leagues and Prems. Really and truly, there's not strikers out there. There's not centre mids out there. And I'm a fan. I'm not gonna sit here and act smart and yeah, I've got a booklet with all of these guys. But you lot are paid to watch football games. You're paid to watch football games. You're paid to scout. Yeah, now look, Lavia's over it, bro. That's just one name. Like, there's several midfielders. Like, there's several of them out there. Like, there's X amount of active footballers. Are you really telling me that our scout? Then what's the point? What's the point in having scouts? Because for me, that stuff feels like a cop-out. It genuinely is a cop-out. There's always who is out there. It's not for us to know. Go and find them. In the same way you found the goalkeeper in David Raya, when at the time not everyone was saying Ramsdale was perfect. You found a way to find the keeper that you know you needed. You found a way to upgrade on whoever is at left back with Calafiori. You found a way. And clearly there must have been other midfielders, because last time I checked, Kai Havertz don't play midfield no more on the organic thing. And I'm not saying to sign people for no reason, because we went down that route of signing. That's how you end up with the Lucas Perez's and all of these things. I don't mind not doing that. But can I sit here and say we made a real meal of it? Did we address all areas? We didn't. You didn't address all areas in the summer. It's a results-driven business. There's always some fans that go out there and, oh, who would we have signed? What would we have done? Like, it's a cop-out. Come on. But we're at where we're at. We've got what we've got. It is what it is. Why don't Arsenal not go out and get Mavididi from Leicester? It still stinks. Party replacement in Yusuf Fofana. You know what? Yusuf Fofana's not doing too much at AC Milan, but that was another one that I wouldn't have been against people, and we was aggressively linked with him. Mavididi, stay at Leicester, my boy. Our team do not have the mentality to win the league. In the game against Chelsea, our players just allowed Pedro Neto to get a shot on goal. No one pressured him. Nothing happens. Poor mentality. These things happen in games, but this is where I say one of the biggest disappointments for me is our whole collective outlook on how we've been defending this season. It's been very cheap. Take nothing away from Neto, but it's another one we were caught in the transition. And even the goals again, well, West Ham's free kick shouldn't have stood, but the Wan-Bissaka goal was terrible as well, because we're not following runners. I want us to collectively get back to high standards. The real uncomfortable convo is the fact that we're not that club. We're not going to drop our bollocks on the table and take what we want. We hope to get it the way we do things. This is Arsenal. But DG, you're right. This team is a reflection of our club. We're always nearly there. Then we never do what is necessary to get over the line. Hopefully we do a thing, man. I think people forget Josh Kroenke was only an executive since 2014. Also, Glazers spent over $1 billion on what happened. Spending P's not addressing the board. The board is as important as the squad. Yeah. Hey, it is where it is, man. I love the club, but I just think we shoot ourselves in. For me, I just think we shoot ourselves in the foot unnecessarily at times, man. Like, thoughts on Tierney treatment? What Tierney treatment? Respectfully to Tierney, like, you're on the bench, making up numbers. It's been made abundantly clear, rightly or wrongly, that you're not part of the plans. I think, I'd love for Tierney to sit down there and go, you know what? I don't mind being a bench player, because you're great to see out games. Just think the system's left Tierney. Like, and when you've got Timber, Calafiori, obviously right now we could do with Tierney, but if everyone's fit, which they're not, Tomiyasu, Timber, Calafiori, they're all ahead of Tierney. I think Tierney's a model professional. The gaffer's probably just gone, you know what, bro? You're not involved. Tini's gone, you know what, Gaffer, I've tried to do the inverted role. I'm behind everyone in the pecking order. Let me move. Obviously, Tini wouldn't be at the club if he didn't pick up that injury. Hopefully, it works out for him in that, at least with this festive period, you can get some minutes, say goodbye to the fans, probably get a move on loan or permanently, but I reckon on loan in Jan. I wouldn't mind keeping him, though. I wouldn't mind keeping him for what remains of the season, because don't know when Tommy's coming back. Just in terms of having defensive options, like, push comes to shove, no one's believing in Zinni. Lewis Skelly's even picked up some knocks, loving his development. Obviously, Tommy's been getting knocks. Ben White, gonna have to give him time to get back up to speed. Calafiori and Timber were having to be very cute and clever with how we manage their minutes and things of that ilk. Tierney in the snow against Newcastle United will never forget that performance, fooled everyone. Tierney against West Brom as well, mate. Tierney comeback season, low-key might be on. Be nice to see him get some minutes, man. We're in a good position so far. Why not? We have a better chance to win the champs than winning the league. Just hope we end up winning stuff. We will win the Champions League this season, people. I hope so. We're probably one of the bookies' favourites. I'm not saying I agree with that, but probably one of the bookies' favourites when you move beyond, for me, Real Madrid, City. Well, to be fair, Liverpool first, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, City. Once you get beyond them, you've still got the Bayerns. You can say what you want about Bayern. Robbie Bayern Munich. You saw what happened. So hopefully, man, but it's fine margins in the champs and moments. And if we're able to produce those moments, the world's our oyster. If not, boy, Champions League is rigged. So what do you think are causing these knocks/injuries? Is it Arteta's training methods, the fixture pile up, or something else? It could be all of those things. It could be the fact that a lot of these players play for their club and country and, had a month or two off, if anything. And then, if they weren't at the Euros and then got back with it. Injuries are just part and parcel of the game. It's probably more our inability to cope. Maybe we didn't learn lessons from last season where we were quite fortunate with injuries. No clue. Tierney is done, but he can play left back and left centre back. He needs to move on to a less physical, demanding league. No, I think Tierney could play Premier League football. You just can't do the inverted role, really. And I ain't playing Tierney, no centre back in the back four. If we was running some back three stuff, fair enough, man. It's rotation. What's the point of buying depth when you don't want to rotate certain man? We should not have any expectation in Champions League. Maybe we can hope to reach the semis or the finals, but we can't talk about winning it. We're not Liverpool Inter. I mean, as long as we're in it, try win it. But I can't sit here and say, yo, we're winning with chess. If Tierney stays, great. We got someone for the bench or someone to be part of the squad. Arteta really went from both his wingers to not help his fullbacks in defending, to wingers don't worry about left backs and right backs, do your thing. I think that's a bit harsh. You hear the way Saka and these lot talk. I can't sit here and say our wingers don't track back and put in a shift defensively. DJ, I still don't understand why Edu got rid of the scout we did have. I'm sure he had his reasons. The idea of selling Kiwior next summer has now become a concern to me because it makes me think we'll go back to the defense again instead of finally settling the striker issue. I hear that, but like, not being funny, like the club, there's more. Even if we air defense, if we sign a striker tomorrow, is all our problems fixed? No. So they're gonna have to. I'm not trying to get onto you or nothing, but you're gonna have to worry about multiple things, anyways. Like there's many contracts to sort out indirectly that impacts who comes in, who goes. Strikers, wingers. Need to find a goalie as well, because on paper you got a couple academy youths and David Raya. There's no guarantee Neto's going to be here next season, so should be able to focus on multiple things. Chelsea did in 2021. Why not? By God's grace, we win the champs, man. As I said, I want to be wrong. No one, I'll say it on wax. No one will be more happier if Arsenal finally get one Champions League trophy than me. But yeah, can I sit here on YouTube and I say 100% I think we're going to do it? Or have the keyword expectation? No. I expect to get to the latter rounds. I hope to get to the latter rounds. More so than anything, do what you did last season in that. If you're going to go out, you go out fighting. None of that. Like, we need to never go back to you lot know how many times and the many games we've been embarrassed in Europe. That's what I don't want to see. So yeah, man, it is what it is. Like right now, Arsenal should take it one game at a time and not ignore the chance to win any trophies. We are well placed in all comps right now to be competitive. I hear it, but then when you look at it, our squad is about to be fully stretched because what, we're still in all 4 comps. Games are coming like every 4 days now. We are getting some players back. There are some players injured. There's probably some players nursing knocks. So do we really have the means to compete on 4 fronts? You're going to have to. But yeah, Arsenal need another left back like Timber. Still no Xhaka replacement. Partey's getting older. In brackets, needs his successor. I don't trust Martinelli. Need a left wing and a striker who backs 20. Do you think we are capable of beating anyone in Europe? Can we compete with the best? If so, then as long as the players stay focused and play at our best, then we have a good chance. There's hella ifs and buts. I mean, anyone can play anyone. Everyone can give anyone a game. Arsenal, in my 29 years, have never been a major player in Europe. But what we have had is some very good nights out. Fair enough, PSG is not what they used to be with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. Move to them. I've seen us beat Munich, seen us beat Barcelona and have some good games against them. You know, we've had some good nights out in your Inter. You know, the whole run in 2006, nobody gave us a chance. Of course, things are different. But anyone can beat anyone. If you're in it, try win it. But boy, pardon me, there'll be a time where I genuinely believe my team is winning prems and champs and things. But at this moment in time, I think we can give everyone a game. But oof, we need quality depth in Jan, especially in attack. I'd still take Douglas Luiz. I can't lie. I wouldn't be against it. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be against it. I wonder what Rice and Luiz would look like. Obviously, Odegaard in front of them. I think, do you know what? It's mad. I think Arteta would probably still play. I think Rice, I think you'd see even more Declan Rice at 8 if Douglas Luiz was there, you know. I'll be honest. Arsenal should have won the Champions League 2002. If you know, you know. But hey, our club has always underperformed in Europe, man. With like Arsenal fans, young and old, man. Like Europe's just filled, unfortunately, with more disappointment than it is happy moments. And the happy moments, how far did they go? That night at this place, that night at that place. How far does that go? I'm not even trying to be the woe is me, but how far does it go? How far does it go, man? I'm not sure in that regard. So, Champions League is rigged. I must admit, I think football is rigged, full stop, man. But all I can say is I ride the highs and the lows with you lot, people, man. Like, I hope that we're celebrating something in May. I hope we look back. You know what? I want to see us win the Premier League title. When I look back and I say, oh, DG, have a bit more optimism, mate. You was really concerned about 9 points and this, that, and the other. I can't guarantee Arsenal's success, but what I can guarantee is the documented MP here to ride the highs and lows with you lot, people. But with that being said, there's no need for me to still be here. I'm sure you're all tired of my voice. Wednesday, we go again for Arsenal versus Man United. So make sure you join me for a watch along. Make sure you're smashing the like button and you're following on all the socials so you don't miss anything. If there's any other relevant news-worthy content, then you know I always come out with the videos and the watch alongs, man. And again, happy new month to those of you if I haven't seen you before or you've been wherever. So yeah, man. You lot enjoy what's left of your morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe, and all that great stuff. Check out the live stream I did with Zar. Peace.
You always just like,